The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everybody. My name is June Vidart, and I'm the Product Marketing Manager here at Exago. And I'd really like to welcome you to today's support lab. It's going to be on report styling and dashboard design. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. This is going to be recorded, and you'll get a link to this support lab when we're done. And also my colleague Emma is available online to answer any questions that you might have. So please submit those in the GoToWebinar question pane. So during this lab, we're going to be going over the concept of dashboard design, just a high overview of that. And then we're going to review a color palette that we created just for this lab. And we're going to be styling some reports, and we're going to design a dashboard. And, we're going to have fun with this. All of our reports are already created, so the only thing that we have to do is just go in and style them and make them look great. So this should be fun. So let's get started by talking about dashboard design and creating effective dashboards. So there are two rules that I really try to keep in mind when I'm designing a dashboard. The first, it's your message. You want your data to tell that clear story, and you want people to have easy visual access to the data that they're looking for. And then there's the organization, the layout of your dashboard. And I'm sure that all of you have heard the saying, less is more. Well, that's what you really need to keep in mind when you're designing your dashboard. For your data to tell that clear story, you need to start with a clean, simple layout. So let's take a look at this, this Acme dashboard that I created. So let's say this is a dashboard that was created for a manager type. They just want to come in and get quick overviews of how, of how his team's doing and, how his products are moving. So on the left-hand side over here, it's dedicated to a product tabular report. And this report has a formula in it, and it's letting us know when we need to reorder our product. It's keeping us updated on what's going on with our product. In our right-hand side over here, it's really sales rep oriented. It's giving us quick visual indications of how our reps are doing. So we're going to recreate this dashboard. But before we do that, we're just going to take a look at our color palette and how it was created for our dashboard. So here's our logo, our Acme logo. So when creating our color palette, I first pulled out our brand colors that were used in the logo. And those are our primary colors. It's this dark blue, this orange, and this brighter blue. And then I took those colors and I screened them back at all different percentages to get our secondary colors. And those are going to be used in our charts along with our primary colors. And, we really want them to provide enough contrast so that they will stand out, from one another, for, each category to stand out. And then I took our main color, this dark blue, and I really screened that back so that it could be used in neutral situations, like in tabular reports, for example. And we'll go over that during the lab. So there are a lot of tools online to help you, pick your colors and screen back your hex values, and they're all pretty easy to use. I think what I use is called hexcolortools.com. And actually, Exago has a tool in its support site, and this helps you create your color theme files that you would actually send to your admin. It's called Color Theme Maker, and this can be found in our support site. And I use this to create our color palette. And what's really great about this is that you can, as you're inputting your values, you can see your combinations being created. And that's really helpful. You can create them all at the same time or unlock them and do them individually. Let's go back to our dashboard. So when I was using this color palette in our dashboard, it really pulled everything together and made a nice unified look. Um, I used the same light blue in our tabular reports that I used in this color block here on the right-hand side. And this creates a natural divider without being, without being too disruptive. And with this new color palette, we do have a lot of different colors, but we really want to use them sparingly in our dashboard. I just use them in our charts, and just to highlight certain colors or alert us. So let's get started by styling our reports and building this dashboard. We're going to open up our advanced tabular report that we have here on the left-hand side. So let's open that up in the editor. Okay, so normally a tabular report has a lot of rows and columns, that are going on. And like I said earlier, we don't want to overwhelm the viewer with lots of colors. So it's really good to keep it down to a two-color palette and maybe add a highlight color if needed. So the two colors I'm going to be using are my neutral colors that I created. The lighter version of the dark blue for the header bars, the fonts, and the border color, and the light blue for the alternate shading. So let's start by changing the header color and fonts. So there are a couple of ways of doing this. You could, use this format paintbrush just to go in and, click and copy your formatting. But what I like to do is I like to select all my cells, clicking down on the shift key. I like to select all my cells and just make those format changes that way. So we're going to click on the background. We're going to make this that dark blue. And I'm going to copy this color because I'm going to be using it in my row below for my my font colors and my border colors. So that we don't have to retype everything. We're just going to paste it into the box. So now I'm going to click on the font, and we want our font to be white. And our font, we want it to be Arial. I really like using sans serif fonts because they're a lot cleaner, a lot easier to read, and that's what it's all about. And our font color, we're going to make 10 point. Okay, so let's select all of our detail row, and we're going to make that the same blue, just pasted it in there. I'm going to select Arial to be consistent with our header. We're going to make this 10 point. And we're going to, all of our rows are still, our cells are still selected. So we're going to click on our format icon, and we're going to change our border. We're going to copy our that hex value, that same blue, into the border that at the bottom that we want to create. Okay. So this column, this is where our formula is that's going to alert us when our product runs under 50. So I'm going to make that orange, and I'm going to embolden it. We're going to embolden that and then make it orange. Type in that value. Okay, and I would use this orange also if there is a grand total or something like that. But a lot of people, instead of using orange, they would just go directly to red. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't want to introduce a new color into the dashboard. I would just pick the strongest color that you have in your color palette. Okay, so we're going to create row heights. I like to add a specific row height to my lines because, without it, the data always seems to be too cramped, and, the height adds nice consistency to your report. So we're going to right-click and click on row height, unselect that. We're going to put 42 in. And I always make the rows the same height. It's all about consistency. And now we're going to add some alternate shading to our detail rows. Our first color is going to be white or transparent. And then our second one is going to be that light blue. Okay. Now, what I like to do also is I like to center the columns that are between the two bookends. I like to, I like to align those in the center because it's easier to read. We have so many different formats, and it's just better to keep it all centered. Okay, so I think we're done with that, and we will save it and then just drag that onto our dashboard. So I have this work in progress that I started just for time's sake. So let's drag that report onto our dashboard. Now we're just going to add a little header. We make this products. Oops. Restocking report. Okay, it's Arial. We're going to make this 9 point. We're going to embolden this, and we're going to make it that dark blue from our logo. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at our finished dashboard. So we have this blue area that's dividing the dashboard in half. And, like I said, it helps consolidate all of our sales reps, charts, and data. So, it's keeping everything in one area. And also it's creating this, this nice negative space that's really helping, our tabular report stand out more. So, try to keep that in mind when you're doing your own dashboards. Just try to use color to create spaces or dividers instead of introducing an element that might just clutter up your dashboard. So we're going to start to work from the top down. We're going to start creating our KPIs. Okay, let's drag a new tile onto our dashboard. Okay, let's add our, we're going to click new visualization. We're going to add our first field. We'll make that quantity. That was dragged into our value box. So now why don't we start formatting this. I'm going to open up chart styles. And our label, we want it to be Arial, to be consistent. It's going to be that dark blue. Okay, let's open chart styles. Now, our numeric value, we're going to make that orange to pop more. So we're going to click on custom, and we're going to change this beige to that orange. Okay. Let's open up style. So we'll get rid of this header. We don't need that. Our background color is going to be the light blue because we're going to be creating that block of blue. And also we're going to, we need to add some white borders, to separate or to create separation between our blocks. So we need at the bottom and the right-hand side. and we'll make those 3-point. Okay, so why don't we get rid of these two little icons in the right-hand corner? We don't really need them. So in setting, you can just uncheck that box. And we're going to click on data. Let's get rid of this extra value. And we're going to type in, we're going to change our label to quantity. We're going to get rid of count. Okay. So we created our first KPI. We have 2 more to create. So instead of creating each KPI, we're going to cheat a little bit. We're going to duplicate our KPIs, and then we're going to delete our old data field and just add our new. And that way we're going to maintain our styling, and we don't have to redo everything. So let's duplicate this. Okay, we're going to go over, we are going to data. We're going to delete our old data field. And here we're going to add, we're going to go to products and add units in stock. So we'll drag that over to our value box. And we're going to change our label to units in stock. Okay, so we have 1 more KPI to create. Let's duplicate this. Make these wider. Try to make them even a little bit. Fix that. That's an easy fix. Okay, so this, we're going to delete our units in stock field, and we're going to drag over revenue. And type in revenue for our label. Oops. Okay. Okay, that looks great. That was pretty easy to recreate everything. Our values are highlighted. So let's move on to our next chart. So going back to our finished dashboard, our next one is going to be sales by category. So this is a simple pie chart, but it has 2 child reports that are associated with it. So we're going to start with the sales by category chart, and then we're going to jump into formatting the child reports. So let's edit this. So the first thing we have to do is change our background color to that blue to be part of the blue block. Okay, now we're going to click on the wizard and open that up. It takes us right to the Appearance tab. We are going to select Acme Color Theme. We're not going to put any labels in. Our font is going to be Arial to be consistent. So our font color, we're going to click on the attribute, and we're going to make it dark blue. Okay, font size, 10's perfect. Okay, so we're going to finish that. Let's take a look and see what our child's report's name is. Okay, sales by product. Let's save that. Oh, I forgot to do something. We need the legend to be on the right-hand side rather than the bottom. I find it lets the chart resize itself bigger. Okay, so let's open up our child report. That was sales by product. Okay, so here we have a header because it's not on the dashboard. So we are going to make this Arial, and we're going to embolden it. I think this should be probably 12 point. And our color is going to be our logo blue to be consistent. Okay. So let's open this up in the wizard. So we want Acme. We're not going to add any labels. Our label font is going to be Arial. The font color is going to be the dark blue to be consistent. Font size, 10, that's good. So let me move this out of the way so you can see it. Our x-axis names, sometimes they tend to run long. So to avoid them bumping into each other, we're going to put them on a slant. So to do that, we are going down into the advanced feature area down here. We're going to type in some attributes. So we're going to type in label design, the label display, I apologize. And then we are going to, our attribute is going to be rotate. The next one is slant labels. And our angle is 1. Let me see. Did we miss anything? Is there a legend on this? Nope. Okay. So let's finish that. And the child report that's associated with this is sales by customer. Okay. Let's open that up. Oops. Sales by customer. Okay, so this is just a basic tabular reporting, and it's just giving us specific sales info on each customer. It just has 2 columns, and what we're going to do is we're going to replicate the formatting in our tabular report. But, you know, we see that, you know, the left column butts the left side, and you know, we're going to add a little space. This is something I should have done in the other tabular report, but I forgot. So what we're going to do, we're going to go up to this section, right-click, and we're going to insert a column before. We're going to adjust that to make a little bit more space for us. And we are going to merge these 2 columns. So let's, this is the same formatting, that darker blue for the header and the fonts and the border, and our header font will be white. So let's change this color. Okay, we're going to save this color. We're going to copy it because we're going to use it below in the footer row. And our font, we're making Arial. We're going to make it emboldened. We don't need that underlined. And we're going to make this 11 point. And let's make this white. Oops. Okay. So here, we'll select the small space that was added also, and selecting everything at the same time. We are making our font that same color, that darker blue. We're going to make it Arial. Make that 10 point or 11. So, oops, I shouldn't have unselected that. We have to do our border. We're going to copy that same color in our lower border. Click OK. Now we need to add some alternate shading. Our first color is going to be white, and our second color is going to be that lighter blue. Okay. So now we're going to add some row height the way that we did in our first tabular report. So I'm going to right click on this, select row height, and I'm going to make this 42. Same with this. Okay, so I think we're done here. Why don't we save this and close it, and then add our pie chart to our dashboard. So we'll go to our work in progress. We'll drag it onto our field. That was sales by category, yes. Let's resize this. So I need to add a header. So I'm just going to duplicate this because it's the same font color size. I just have to add a background color. Make this light blue. Oops. Okay. Change this to sales by category. Yes. Resize this. So this will all disappear once we run our dashboards. We won't see this. Okay, so our sales by month chart is formatted exactly the same way. So what we're going to do, we're not going to reformat. It's the same thing as our sales by category. So we're just going to drag it onto our dashboard. Oops. It's very sensitive. Just duplicate this again. I apologize. Okay, make the background that light blue. I apologize. Okay. Now we have to add some a border to this tile to our left-hand side to create that separation, and to our bottom also. Okay, that's going to be white. Make that 3 point like the other ones. Do the same to this one. Okay. Let me just save this. Okay, so let's drag our sales by month. We're going to duplicate this. Okay. That looks good. So going back to our finished dashboard, the only thing we have to do is build this employee sales by category chart on our dashboard. So we're going to add our new tile, new visualization. We'll add our category name to our labels box, employee or sales rep's last name to our labels box, and then we're going to add a revenue field to our value box. Okay, there we go. Let's jump over here and just have to shuffle these around. Okay, let me add another value. Okay, we'll just leave it like that. So we are going to style this now. We'll open up the chart. So we're going to make our labels Arial, and we're going to make it that dark blue. For consistency, that's what it's all about. Okay, we're going to open up chart styles. We're going to make this Acme. We're going to use a currency symbol in our label. We're going to get rid of our header because we're going to add one. Our tile background is going to be that light blue. Okay, so now we just have to add our title. Then we'll be all set. Make this 9, embolden it, that dark blue. Okay, righty. And now we just have to type in. And we just have to make our background consistent. Okay, so now we just have to add a, do I have to add a border to the top? No, I just have to add a border to the bottom over here. Make that white, 3-point. Okay, so that's it. That's it for the support lab. Like you saw, it was, we were trying to keep the dashboard as simple as possible using our block colors as a main divider. And, I really hope that you were able to pick up a few tips and maybe a few tricks that will help you with your reporting and dashboard design. I really want to thank you for joining us, and keep an eye out for our next email invitation, which will be coming out next week for our next support lab. So thank you again.